Greetings, my dear viewer. You have entered this website in order to view things, but today you are going to hear something. A creepy ravioli. I mean a creepypasta. Anyway, it's the Lion King Sega game download. Beware, viewer, beware. There are so many creepypastas out there about haunted video games and things of that nature. I've read and always and just passed them off as just that. Fake, stupid creepypasta stories. Though they were very entertaining, I never expected something similar to happen to me. It seems like the worst things always tend to happen to those most unsuspecting and cynical, doesn't it? Well, I was at a time of disappointment in my life. I had become very ill and forced to drop out of college. I hated having my dreams put on hold, and I'd been suffering from a mild case of depression because of it. But there was still a comfort that can only come from being back home that reassured me a bit. But there was still the boredom I had to deal with. No job, no college, and I hate to say it, but little friends, most still in college themselves, made each day drag by. The days spent watching television and old VHS movies in that familiar living room gave me some inspiration to find a way to ease my ever-increasing tedium. My VHS and digital video disc library had dwindled down to only my old, worn-out Disney movies left unwatched. So I decided to watch one of my old-time favorites, The Lion King. The colorful, cute lion cubs reminded me of an almost forgotten piece of my past. It was the old 1994 Lion King PC video game I used to play constantly as a child. My mom and I used to spend hours trying to win that old game. The flood of old memories sent me walking to my old bedroom, to the ancient computer that still sat on the desk in the corner. I'd been so proud of that old computer when I first bought it. At the age of 11, I'd saved up enough of my allowance to buy it myself. It was heartwarming to see the old startup screen and hear the old jingle as Windows XP started up on your ancient PC. What the hell is your definition of ancient anyway? The bulky old compact Presario growed to life, and I clicked the start button to search for my old game. Sadly, the game folder was barren and empty. Disappointed, I walked in to ask my mom what happened to all our games. She looked a little sad, probably seeing the dissatisfaction in my eyes. She told me since I had purchased a brand new laptop a month ago or so, my dad was going to sell the old computer. He had taken all the old games and documents and removed them. She then suggested I asked my dad if he'd saved any of them, and also to ask my dad if he'd been a total dickhead by not asking his own daughter for the permission of selling her old computer, which she bought herself. Anyway, later that night my dad returned from his job in the factory, tired and worn. He flopped on the couch to do what he did to relax, look up stuff on his laptop. So I walked over and asked him what the fate of my childhood memories had been. He regretted to say that he didn't think I would care about them anymore and had deleted them. I was clearly saddened by that. I had been really looking forward to skydiving into an ocean of nostalgia. Hating to see his little girl, all 19 years of her, upset, he said he'd go online and try to download as many of the old games as he could from freeware sites and things of that nature. Then the reader suddenly noticed the fact that his throat was all groany, and he took a sip. Gladly, my dad found and downloaded the 1994 Lion King Sega game, my old favorite. you stated that you played the PC version. Anyway, now this game isn't like the modern Disney games out there. It wasn't a babyish activity center or a storybook game. What the hell is a storybook game anyway? It was a story, yes, but it was an action. Yeah, no, it's actually a platformer. Anyway, the gist of it was that you started out as young Simba as he defeats innocent villains. What? Okay, as he defeats innocent villains. And animals such as chameleons, porcupines, frogs, spiders, vultures, and the harder villains. God blast. Sorry. Okay, that was pretty childish. And the harder villains. Hyenas. Young Simba could defeat these adversaries by simply jumping on them. Except the porcupines. You had to growl to flip them and then jump on them. Although Simba was hardly more violent, I know, shit joke. He could slash, maul, and flip the enemies, some of them even showing small amounts of blood flying from them with each hit. Nothing gory, you could never see an injury on his enemies, but at the age of 4 that seemed like a major carnage. The next morning I was glad to have the whole house to myself to play the game again. My dad was at work and my mom was off to Lexington, Kentucky. Wait, you're from Kentucky? Huh, I made a mistake all the time. Let me just try to fix that. The next month I was glad to have my whole house to myself to play the game again. Moving on. My dad was at work and my mom was off to Lexington, Kentucky to help my almost 80-year-old grandma. It was times like these that it pays to have no siblings, so I grabbed a bowl of M&Ms and some sweet tea and retreated to my room for the day. My dad had installed the game into the bulky old grey and black computer the night before, but hadn't seen if it worked or not. I prayed it did as I clicked on the file. It worked to my delight. When I saw the grey startup screen, a picture of Pride Rock with Figgy holding up baby Simba, I pressed enter to start the game. Timmy appeared on the screen and said the old familiar word, "It starts." I worked my way through the colourful levels with ease. I remembered every trick and bonus. Everything went well, but I was having a good old-fashioned fun like I used to as a little kid. I made it to the last level, the Pride Rock level, where those Simba battles Scar. Yeah, the lazily named 2 characters of the movie battled each other. I made it halfway through the level, battling Scar through 2 of the 3 times and killing off hyena after hyena. I was having a perfect game until I made one mistake. I misjudged a jump and missed the platform I was aiming for, sending Simba plunging into the darkness in between. That's when things started to get wrong. Instead of just fading to black and starting the level over like it was supposed to, the screen began flashing random colors, mainly red, black and purple, and a sound that isn't supposed to be in the game. I should know, I've played it 100 times or more and memorized every part of it. The sound was not from the movie, it was from the infamous Stampede scene when Mufasa fell to his doom. It was a Simba scream. Oh, sorry, it was James Earl Jones, not Jonathan Taylor Thomas. No! Then there was a screeching sound, so that I jumped and turned down my speaker. I figured, for some odd reason written together, because the word I figured is not in existence. I figured that this was just a hacked version of the game, and someone thought it would make the game better to add sound clips from the movie. But then instead of returning to the level, I was on the level restarted from the beginning. That made me annoyed, since I've gotten so far. But then the startup screen changed instead of the cheery screen I remembered from my childhood, or from 2 seconds ago for that matter. It was dark, blurry, odd-colored red, black, and blue. It almost looked like a night shot of the original screen. But I thought it might just be a glitch, and I pressed start anyway. You are playing it on a computer, not on a console. You can't really play. Okay, you can press start, but guess what's going to happen? Just try it out yourself. Get yourself some emulated game and then press start, the start button on your keyboard. Anyway, instead of Timon saying his normal phrase, there was a strip of red writing which seemed to flash and twist on the screen. It said a quote that I recognized and actually loved. The boundaries which divide life from death are best shadowed in wake. Who shall say that the one ends and and the other begins? I'm back. A quote from my favorite author, Edgar Allan Poe. I was actually a little happy to see my favorite quote, but couldn't help but feel a little uneasy. Why was it on a Disney game, and I knew for sure it didn't belong there, but I played anyway. What an ingenious idea! The first level was all wrong. First off, I had no lives left when I should have had 8, and the sky was pitch black. The first level was usually a cheery, sunny level. Worst of all, young Cub Simba was lying down in an unnatural, crumbled position. He was bloody and shaking. This wasn't the Disney gnome at all. I'm sorry. Really? No shit, Sherlock. No, actually, I do remember a lot of Disney movies in which the hero of the story was lying on the ground all ripped apart and stuff. There wasn't a Disney movie. No, oh really? Moving on. For the heck of it, I tried to move him with the arrow keys, and he reached his arm out slowly and dragged himself along the ground, leaving a trail of crimson blood behind him, like a slug leaves a trail of slime. Well, the progression was slow, but the crisp autumn weather outside made me excited for Halloween, so I decided to try and play this disturbed version of my favorite game. When I needed to jump, the half-dead Lion Cub jumped almost like normal, except each jump he lost a body part. The bloody part of him fell into the crevice he was jumping. Each jump made our crumbled hero bloodier and bloodier. At the end of the level, the hyena was different too. His eyes glowed red and he looked as if he'd been slashed multiple times. I defeated him with 2 jumps, just in time as Simba's legs fell off. I wondered what awaited me on the next level as the first one faded to black. I can't wait to be king. I just can't wait to be king. Level was upside down and seemed to be melting on the screen, as well as being darker colors than it should. Simba was back to the original state he was on the first disturbed level. He dragged along as he made his way to the rhino. He jumped on the rhino's head, but his tail falling off along the way, and the rhino flipped him up into the trees, into the arms of the monkeys. This is the part when Simba was supposed to jump on the heads of giraffes over water to the other side of the water. The giraffes were beheaded, bloodily with amazingly disgusting details. Don't you mean with amazingly disgusting details? Anyway, I could see the bones sticking out. I thought, whoever hacked this game had even more of a dark side than me.